God, I thought I was the only one who felt this abandoned. I thought faith was supposed to protect me from this, from feeling like I'm drowning in darkness while everyone else seems to breathe just fine. But then I read about Augustine and Thérèse, and John of the Cross, and I realized even the saints struggled to breathe. Even them, God, even your favorites, even the ones we put on pedestals and pray to now, they knew this darkness. They knew what it feels like to call your name and hear nothing back. And I don't know if that makes me feel better or worse. Because if they struggled this much and became saints, what does that make me? Just someone who struggles and stays stuck. Augustine wrestled with you for years, God, years. Not days, not weeks. Years of intellectual battles, of doubts so deep he couldn't think his way out of them. He wrote about it later, how he was torn between what he knew was true and what he couldn't stop wanting. How temptation felt stronger than faith. How the past wouldn't let him go, no matter how hard he tried to move forward. And I read that and think, at least his darkness led somewhere. At least his struggle became a story. But mine just feels like this endless loop of trying and failing and trying again. This exhaustion that has no name, no poetry, no redemption arc. Just me, in my room, whispering prayers that sound more like questions I've stopped expecting you to answer. Thérèse got tuberculosis, God. She was dying slowly, coughing blood, watching her body betray her, and she felt abandoned. She wrote about it, how at the end, when she needed you most, you seemed furthest away, how the silence became unbearable, how she wondered if any of it, the prayers, the sacrifice, the whole little way, if any of it mattered. And I look at her and think, she's a saint. She's Saint Thérèse now. If she felt that abandoned, what hope do I have? I can't even hold faith through a Tuesday, and she held it through tuberculosis. I lose my grip after one unanswered prayer, and she kept praying through literal suffocation. What's wrong with me, God? Why do I break so easily? Why does my faith feel like tissue paper while theirs was, what, steel? No, that's the thing. That's what I keep getting wrong. Their faith wasn't steel. It was just there, present, even when it felt like nothing, even when it accomplished nothing. Just there. And John of the Cross, God, what did you do to him? You let them throw him in prison. Your own servant locked in darkness, beaten, humiliated. 9 months, God, 9 months in a cell barely big enough to stand in. And he called out to you, and what did he get? Silence. Absence. The dark night of the soul, he called it. Like that makes it poetic. Like that makes it hurt less. But here's what gets me. He wrote poetry in that prison. Not because he felt you there. Not because you showed up and made everything better. He wrote because what else could he do? He wrote because the silence was going to have the last word if he didn't say something, anything, even if it was just whispers in the dark that no one would hear. And I wonder, was that faith? Or was that just stubbornness? Just refusing to let the void win? Because I don't know anymore, God. I don't know what faith is supposed to feel like when it feels like nothing. When it's not a warm light or a peaceful certainty or any of the things they talk about in church. When it's just this showing up day after day in the dark, whispering your name like a habit I can't break.
Maybe that's what they had. Maybe that's all they had. Not supernatural strength, not mystical experiences that made it all make sense, just the habit, the stubborn, stupid, inexplicable habit of staying when everything in them wanted to leave. God, I'm angry. I'm angry at you for letting them suffer like that. I'm angry at them for suffering better than I do. I'm angry at myself for thinking that reading about their struggles would somehow fix mine, like their darkness would light up my path. But it doesn't work that way, does it? Their crosses don't make mine lighter. Their questions don't answer mine. Augustine took years to convert. Years of false starts and half-surrenders and falling back into old patterns. And we remember the conversion, that moment in the garden when everything changed. But what about the years before? What about all those mornings he woke up still broken, still doubting, still fighting the same battles he thought he'd already won? Nobody talks about those years. Nobody makes them sound holy. But those were the years that built him, weren't they? The grinding, unglamorous years of trying and failing and trying again. The years when faith wasn't a light. It was just a refusal to give up completely. Thérèse called it the little way. And I used to think that meant simple, easy, childlike faith that just trusts and smiles and everything works out. But that's not what she meant, is it? The little way was showing up for lauds when her lungs were failing. It was smiling at sisters who annoyed her. It was choosing moment by moment to stay present when every cell in her body was screaming to give up. There was nothing heroic about it, nothing mystical, just small acts of staying, small refusals to let darkness have the final word. The little way wasn't about feeling close to you, God. It was about acting like you mattered even when you felt absent. And John, God, John in that prison cell. Do you know what he wrote? He wrote about union with you, about intimacy with the divine. While he was being tortured, while his own brothers in Christ were treating him like a criminal, he wrote about closeness to you when you felt most distant. Was he lying? Was he just performing faith? Or did he understand something I don't? That faith isn't about feeling your presence, it's about insisting on your existence anyway. That prayer isn't about getting answers, it's about refusing to let silence have the last word. I don't feel strong like them, God. I don't feel resilient. I feel like I'm barely holding on. Like I'm one bad day away from walking away from all of this. From you. From prayer. From the whole exhausting effort of believing in something I can't see, can't feel, can't prove. But here's the thing I'm starting to realize. Maybe they felt that way too. Maybe every single one of them was one bad day away more times than we know. Maybe Augustine almost gave up every week for those years before his conversion. Maybe Thérèse had moments where she thought, this is it, I can't do this anymore. Maybe John in that cell had hours where he wanted to curse you instead of write poetry about you. Maybe their resilience wasn't about not breaking. Maybe it was just about breaking every single day and still showing up the next morning. Maybe it wasn't strength that kept them going. It was just inertia, just the inability to do anything else. Just one more prayer, one more day, one more breath in the dark. And if that's true, if that's all it takes, then maybe I'm not failing. Maybe this right here, this exhausted showing up, this half-hearted whisper, this I don't even know why I'm still praying prayer. Maybe this is the path. Maybe this is what their resilience looked like from the inside. Not heroic, not transcendent, just still here, still speaking your name even when it feels absurd. Still here, God. I don't have their intelligence, I don't have their poetry, I don't have their circumstances that turned into sainthood. I just have this ordinary brokenness,
this common darkness, this unremarkable struggle that won't make it into any books or inspire anyone's conversion. But I'm still here. Augustine kept thinking. Thérèse kept choosing. John kept creating. And I keep praying. Even when it feels empty. Even when you feel absent. Even when I'm not sure if anyone's listening or if I'm just talking to my own echo. Maybe that's enough. Maybe that's what resilience actually is. Not the victory, not the breakthrough, not the moment when everything finally makes sense. Just the staying. Just the stubborn, illogical, unexplainable staying when leaving would make so much more sense. They taught me that, God. Not by being perfect, not by having faith that never wavered, but by breaking over and over again and somehow finding a way to gather the pieces and show up one more time. By turning their prisons into poetry, by calling their suffering a little way instead of a tragedy, by wrestling with you for years instead of walking away in the first month. They taught me that resilience isn't about not feeling abandoned, it's about praying anyway. It's not about eliminating the dark night, it's about lighting a candle in it, even if your hands are shaking. It's not about understanding your silence, it's about speaking into it anyway. So I'm speaking into it now, God. I don't know if you're listening. Augustine probably wondered that too. I don't know if this will lead anywhere. Thérèse didn't know either. I don't know if I'll ever understand why you let darkness be part of the path. John never got that answer. But I'm still here. For whoever else is in this darkness tonight, I don't have answers. I don't have light to give you. I just have this. You're not alone in feeling abandoned. Even the saints felt it. Even the ones we pray to now once prayed prayers like ours, desperate, confused, barely holding on. Their resilience wasn't supernatural. It was just staying, just showing up. Just one more prayer when prayer felt pointless. Just gathering their broken faith pieces one more time and arranging them into something that resembled hope, even if it was hope they couldn't feel. Maybe that's all any of us can do. Maybe that's all they did. Maybe that's all you're asking. So here I am, God. Here we are, still broken, still doubting, still struggling to see the point, but still here, still praying, still whispering your name in the dark, not because it changes anything, but because we don't know what else to do. And maybe that's enough. Maybe that's what resilience actually is. Maybe that's what you've been saying all along. God, I don't know which saint's struggle speaks to mine. Maybe all of them. Maybe none of them. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe what matters is that they struggled and stayed, and I'm struggling and staying. And that's something. That has to count for something, doesn't it? Which saint's struggle speaks to yours? What keeps you praying when you feel nothing?